Hey guys, so disregarding my messy bench, I'm not sure how much of it you guys are going to see, but it's pretty messy because I've been doing an awful lot of work on that 50T. So I think one of my videos ago I told you that the audio output transformer was open. I wasn't going to worry about it unless I could see any type of life on that CRT, which in the last video you saw I had some life. Now I'm not saying it's going to be proof that it's going to work, but it gave me hope that maybe I can get it going. So I had gone online and did a search on the Philco part number, which is this 328242-7. And there are a lot of used Philco transformers that showed up, but that part number did not show up at all, period, on eBay or any place else I looked. So when I went back to my documentation, there was a direct replacement part number from Stancor. There was a direct part replacement part number from Meritor. So then I did searches on those, and nothing on Meritor. A bunch of Stancors came back. It just so happened there was one guy that had a Stancor of the exact part number that was shown on the documentation for the TV. So it just so happens it turned out it was new old stock, never used. He was asking $45, which is way expensive. But when you go looking at even the used ones that were like on eBay, these people are going nuts with this stuff, you know, asking $75, $95, $125. So once I knew that I had some life on my screen, I went back and just so happened the guy had it still. So I offered him $25 and he counter offered with $35. So he dropped it $10. So I went ahead and got it. So anyway, I'm going to show you this open on here. Here's the primary side, and it is actually, this is one lead here, this is the other lead, and if I get on here, you can see we got 1 ohm. Now if we go to secondary side here, and we get on here, we got nothing. It's open. That was the issue. So anyhow, today the one I ordered showed up, and I haven't opened the box yet, but we will open the box together and see what it looks like and what a test out it has, considering it's supposed to be a direct replacement. Let me zoom you out here a little bit. See how it looks and how it tests. So let's see if we can get this thing open. It's one of those things that I know I overpaid for it. I'm probably not even going to get the stupid TV working, but anybody that's watched my channel long enough knows I'm OCD and that I don't half-ass anything if I can help it. And I overkill everything. So my wife's one thing my wife don't like about me. She says I spend way too much money on stuff that doesn't necessarily need to be. Alright, so there we go. There's that. Get the box out of here. Definitely a Stancor. A3823, that's the number that was on the documentation with this TV. So let's see what it looks like. Definitely a Stancor, says it is. There's some paperwork with it. Instruction sheet, blah 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 blah. Okay, we'll look at that a little closer before I actually go to wire it up. But got a number of terminals on this side. Assume that's going to Guess we'll just start ohming, see what we get. So we got 490 ohms there, 489.9 between those two wires. We got 257 between those two wires, and we got 233 between those two wires, which means this wire here is the center tap. So there's about a half ohm. There's 0.8 of an ohm, 1.8, 0.6, and 0.9, 0.8. My guess is it's going to be the 5, but we will see what we wind up with. There's 1 ohm right there, 0.9. I think that's what we had on the other one. I will get out my documentation and see what it's supposed to read. I'm pretty sure that on the secondary it was showing it was supposed to be like 435. If you guys remember, I put a 500 in there. This is running 490, so I think that we're fine with that. But anyway, I'll get it figured out. I'll get it installed into the chassis, and I'll bring you back. Alright, so there's the audio output transformer all installed. Went in very nicely. I wound up using terminals 5 and 6 on that secondary side, which, based on the data that was in the information, it shows the primary impedance as being 3800 ohms, the secondary impedance being 3.5 ohms, and of course then there's the DC resistance of 425 and 0.7. Now this new transformer, the primaries were 480, but I guess that's still within, well within 20%. So using that installation data that was on there, it wound up being terminals 5 and 6. So that's what we got. So I'm getting ready to check some voltages now that everything's in place. I found a couple of really far off resistors. I had a 47 ohm that was reading 105, and I had a 330k ohm that was reading 537k. So I've changed those. I'm going to recheck some of my voltages, see if things look better. If so, I'm going to slide it in the chassis in the direct orientation so that I can have adjustment availability to me, and we'll see what it looks like. Yeah, I was also going to show you, I went on Amazon, and for, I think it was $8.99, I bought 4 mirror type tiles that I adhered onto a piece of hardboard and attached to my wall, so now I can make my adjustments and see the screen much easier than what I had before. So I'll be able to get the tripod set up where you guys can see that better when I get in there and start trying to make adjustments. So alright guys, so here's where it stands right at the moment. I got it back in the chassis, and as you can tell now I've got white noise. I can change the channel. Probably needs to be cleaned. You probably can't see it that well on screen, but it looks like I see a little snow down there, but I'm not positive. But the vertical linearity control on the back doesn't seem to do a heck of a lot. Other than that, I turn it about a quarter of a turn, I get that. Turn it back the other way, I get nothing. So I'm thinking that this particular control right here may have an issue with it. Let me get my screwdriver in the slot. Here we go. If I turn it all the way to the counterclockwise, there's nothing. And all the way back, and right in that last little bit, I get that. The focus control does that number. And then the vertical basically does not much of anything. So I thought I'd throw this out here so you guys can see where we're at, see if anybody has any suggestions. Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at right now. Contrast knob in the front does do stuff, as obviously does the brightness control. Anyhow, that's where we're at. Making slow progress here and there, but we're making slow progress.